Part of what I wanted to say I couldn't deliver, I didn't know anyway. Such a bittersweet taste, such a perfect waste, oh, hiding in the back of my conscious state. Such a wonderful sound, such a beautiful way to hit the ground. I hear you call through the echoes of my mind.
Very excited, yeah. And this is crazy. This is amazing.
Would you like to finish it, Captain?
Hello, I'm Sophia Jessica, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
Well, I met with the team of producers and writers face to face, and I wanted to explain, because they were all very distinguished people, why I wasn't going to come back and do another Star Trek series. And then they started talking, and I fell under their spell, and what they were pitching to me was irresistible.
Well, I mean, you're not stuck to reality, for one thing, so it gives you a lot more freedom. But I think something that Star Trek specifically has always done is it's a way to hold a mirror up to society in a maybe little less threatening way, show us where we're screwing up and where we can improve.
You read all the scripts, you do, oh yeah, and each version of each script. So, you know, there's many drafts, there's many, you know, that's the great thing about these writers, you know, they don't stop writing. I mean, it's a great thing, and as an actor, the potentially difficult thing the night before, but that to me means that you're getting the best of the best. You're getting someone who's not putting down a pen, you know, months before and going, that's fine. They're reworking it and reworking it. So, and look, every writer works in different ways. So you can get fantastic writers that put their pens down months before. But this team were very much invested in making it as good as it could be right up until the last minute. And so yeah, there was lots of scripts of every episode, and we were constantly reading them.
So I play Elnor. He's a Romulan kind of warrior. He's a Romulan boy. He was raised in a sect of all female warrior nuns known as the Kowat Malat. He's an expert in hand-to-hand combat, and I think I can say he kind of acts as Picard's muscle. My character shows us a different side of Romulan society and Romulan culture, and I'm pretty sure it's the first time we've had a Romulan on board as a part of the crew, so I guess that's probably what you can take from it.
Well, that's the thing. This Star Trek Picard is going to actually bring you to different places in the universe than you've seen in the universe and on Earth. You're going to see Picard. You know, what's beautiful about this is that it's been 17, 18 years since Next Generation's been off. So that time that Patrick as well as Picard has aged, the world has changed, our world as well as their world, and so that's a truth. We track that, so we are a continuation of that story. So you're going to get to see more, like, everything that you've been wanting to see from Picard, you're going to see that and more, and really surprising things.
I would agree with that. I'd also say that for me as an actor and a relatively new actor, it was kind of helpful being able to have all this time with this character and just explore the different, you know, like how he thinks and how he moves and what he says and what he does. So yeah, I'd say it's very beneficial.
So excited. It's a real honour to be a part of a show which has been going on since the 60s in various different ways. The sort of nebulous of the show is coming from a positive view of humanity. It's coming from looking at how we will do in the future if we get that far. And I think when it started in the 60s, I totally see how that resonated so much. And I think that hasn't let up in any way, shape or form nowadays. I think we're all looking tentatively towards the future in various ways, and to see a show which looks at humanity and which looks at the ways of understanding who's around us, the way that understanding who's on various planets or in various spaceships, well, you can see how that very easily translates to our world now, and I think that's where the writers initially were coming from, and I know that's something thematically, which our creative team are very much into as well.
That's a really good question. I actually never thought I'd be part of a Trek crew. You know, growing up and watching the show, that's kind of something you'd always dream about. And then I get to work with my favourite captain. It was kind of interesting. I feel like the more we were on set together, we actually became a crew. I mean, we've got our own WhatsApp group. We call ourselves the Motley Crew. I've met up with some of the other legacy casts, and they've been nothing but supportive and encouraging. And you know, they've told us, you know, the fans are nothing but loving. And yeah, it's just Trek really is just a whole big family. It's like one big community. It's lovely.
Yes, he feels very different. He's angry, disappointed, and guilty.
Well, I got given these signs, obviously, with that were like, you know, blacked down. Only my dialogue was there, and my character's name was different. I got told that it was Star Trek, and that Patrick Stewart would be on it. Before I received the script, I knew it would be something special. When I got given the script, it was like reading a novel almost. You know, it was just so like informative, and every character had depth and layers. It was kind of like an actor's dream, almost, to land this kind of role.
There certainly are. If I'm not wrong, I think the first thing you hear me do is screaming at somebody in French.
I love where she's become. What I loved about her the first time I played her was learning to become human again. She's been through a lot of dark stuff in the last 20 years. I love her resilience. I love who she's become. She's really cool.
Rafi is a security analyst, hacking genius. She has a very strained relationship with the Federation. She had a working relationship with Picard after Next Generation, and they had a falling out. She's haunted by decisions and things that have happened in her past, and that has made her rely on vices as crutches. But I don't want to say that she's an addict as in she's kicking back on the side of the street, but she has vices to help her get up in the day. And I really love to tell this story because I feel like it's a very relatable story to us all. We all have people in our lives that we know that have demons on their shoulders and are doing things that they have to do to get through the day. And I want us to tell that story as in the people who are going through those challenges are still viable. They're not to be pushed to the side. They're still valuable people of our community and need to be supported and cared for.
You realise the scale of it is crazy because you turn a page or you read a tiny little stage direction and it might be 3 lines, but it's going to be a spaceship or it's going to be a huge planet. It's going to be, you know, they're creatively huge endeavours, each one, which has probably taken months for people to construct and design. So you're just it's childhood play to be able to be involved in stuff which is genuinely spaceships and aliens. Yeah, it's pretty great.
Once I found her voice again, which is very different, of course, because it's 20 years later, then it was pretty comfortable slipping back in. Well, she's completely different. She's much more human in every way. Her clothes, her talk, her demeanor. Which was great. I mean, that's a great challenge as an actor, is to find a through line to make it the same person, not just the same prosthetics and the same actor playing her, but make it that character. So that was a fun challenge.
Everyone knows Gene Roddenberry's vision. It's always been holding a mirror to our society. So, I mean, the writers can't help but draw inspiration from the times we live in. However, we still keep Roddenberry's vision alive. It is very much about hope, and hope is very much the message behind our show.
Genesis was a man who was outraged by what he was seeing in the streets and wanted to join in with the birth of civil rights and feminism and black power and fight against the Cold War. And I think it's always been a progressive show, and it's done that brilliant thing of telling entertaining stories and subliminally showing us that we can do better. As human beings, we can do better, we can be more tolerant, more compassionate. I think Discovery did that enormously in dealing with assimilation and racism and Trumpism in many ways. And I think Patrick had some very strong ideas. He also doesn't want to repeat himself. And I think Picard will be a completely different tone from anything you've seen before.
I mean, well, Michael Chabon's been a fan, since I guess before I was born. So they were very much about, keeping it for the fans. And I think there's something for old fans. I think there's something for new fans coming aboard. It's a very psychological I say it's a show, but it's more like a 10-hour movie. It's very cinematic. It's different to like TNG. It's not episodic. And I think it's something for everyone.
The character was brilliantly written, and I was just thrilled to be able to do it, and working with such an incredible team of actors, with great writers. I'm just going to copy Patrick. He's talking now. So writers, producers, and actors, great. Yeah, we'll go with that.
First of all, working with him is phenomenal. I mean, my very first day, I tried to be nice and cool. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Michelle," and my knees were like shaking so much I thought he could hear them. But he literally put me at ease immediately. He's so kind. He's so generous. He's so authentic. He's so loving. And I think those things are the reason why Picard has been so, beloved by all of us, because he is that. He is calm. He is kind. He is strong. He is vulnerable. He is empathetic. He tells those stories. He's brave, and he's not afraid to be wrong. So I think that those things about Patrick are the same things about Picard, and that's why we love him.
That is a really, really good question. So working with Patrick has been nothing but amazing. I've learned so much. I mean, the scenes I've done with him, he just draws it out of you. He's nothing but supportive. He is very much about an ensemble, down to the person who, at the food cart. He's all. It's a team effort. That's what he strongly believes. I mean, and in terms of the Picard that you're going to see, I mean, all this time's passed. It might not be the Picard you remember. Yeah.
He's amazing. I mean, of course, he's an incredible actor, incredibly present and incredibly giving, and just a lovely human being. So it's a lot of fun.
It is, and it makes you feel like you have to bring your A game. He just kind of draws it out of you. He's an actor's actor, and he's very supportive and encouraging. Yeah, it's been a dream come true.
We reflect the present day in our new series, very modestly, very gently. But it was one of the things that Gene Roddenberry, way back when I first started 35 years ago, he always believed in. And he believed in a better world and a fairer world and a more honest world, and that's what we try to bring to this.
People love different shows for different reasons. There are people who just like the tech stuff in Star Trek, but mostly what I've come across is that people who are in tune. They feel that that this is speaking their language to them, because they also want to be part of the family. The family, literally, they want the human race to aspire to do better, and we hope that we don't need catastrophes or the kind of war that is in the background of the story of Star Trek in order to form a federation. And so, yeah, I think there's a bunch of fun stuff along the way, and there's aliens and there's VFX, but really at the heart of it is that we can all do better and we can all be kinder.
The sets, I mean, I would describe it as kind of like darker. I mean, we do explore. You will see like a lot of like different kind of planets and environments, and I think a lot more of Earth than we've seen before. All I can say is just you wait, because you will be blown away. I saw the first 3 episodes and I was speechless.
Well, the question is, why in 2020 does the world still need stories? And if because we've always gathered around fireplaces in groups to hear stories, because narrative is incredibly important. We need something to aspire to, and we need to understand. We need a template for living, and we're not getting it from the politicians nowadays. And Star Trek has always been about the best version of ourselves, how to be the best version of ourselves, how to be the most compassionate version of ourselves. And no one embodied that more than Jean-Luc Picard, so let's see what happens to him at this age.
I think we need this show more than ever. I mean, we're in what feels like very uncertain times. I think there's a lot of ignorance in our world, and I think this show really shines a light on it. It also shines a light on what we could be, what we'd hope to achieve. It is about hope.
He's just very good at being other people. I mean, that's, what makes an actor a good actor? They disappear. I don't know Patrick at all. I know him to say hello to him, but really I know him mostly through characters, and they're all completely different from each other. He has a natural authority. He's got a magnificent voice. But beyond that, he's able to do what all great actors can do, which is imagine being someone else and convince us that they are them.
Yeah, phenomenal writing, Michael Chabon. I think he's around here somewhere. He's been a Trek fan since way back when, and it really shows in the writing.
It's amazing. I mean, Michael Chabon writes my words. A Pulitzer Prize winner writes my words on a TV show. It's extraordinary, and I honestly, I feel like this is the most vetted out, complex, layered female character I've ever had the opportunity to play. And you know, I've been here for a minute. I've been doing things for a period of time. So this is, you know, I literally, I didn't realize that sci-fi is really the place where you get to really have a voice and explore the stories that other people are not exploring. You give a sound and a visual to things that are not being seen or heard. And I've always thought that that was like, oh, procedural, you know, realism. No, it's sci-fi. And what I love about our show is that we're not preaching. It's not a preachy thing, but our writers and our executive producers and our actors are influenced by life, right? Life imitates art. Right now, we're all living in a very challenging time. There's a lot of discord, diversion, divisiveness, and discomfort in our world. Everybody, and we get to tell that in this show. Once again, we're not preaching, but it's there. You'll feel it, and what I love about it is that we are striving for a solution. We're striving for hope. We're striving to explore the fact that life is fragile and valuable, and love is imperative. And I think you'll see that in a very subtle and empathetic way.
I mean, I think the funnest thing for me was doing most of my own fight sequences and stunts. But the best times I'd say I've had when we were filming is just us all sitting around in between takes, just chatting and talking to each other. I thought, you know, on set, most actors would just walk off over to their trailer and, you know, not be seen, but that wasn't the case. I mean, we're like one big family now.
Oh, that's great. So you got to know each other on set and off set. So.
Yeah, in San Diego, I remember Patrick kind of called us a lovable band of misfits, a motley crew, and that's what we call ourselves now.
Oh, that's awesome. Enjoy tonight. Thank you.
I'm not really, because this show has been made, our writers and producers are true Trekkie fans and lovers. So they, you know, and Patrick is an executive producer. We don't ever shoot anything that Patrick doesn't believe the fans will love. In fact, when we're shooting a scene and he thinks it's, you know, it rings false, he literally will say, no, this is not right. The fans will know we need to change this. And we stop and we vet it out and we change it and we work it so that it's true and authentic to what the fans will like. So no, I really believe that if true Trekkie fans come to watch us in our new show, they're gonna love this.
Yeah. It was fantastic. They're amazingly creative guys. They let me right off the leash. It's weird because you're doing a lot of improvised comedy, but you're not with the other actors. So these are big group ensemble comedy scenes, but I'm all by myself in a studio in London. So I hope it cuts together. I know I had a right doing it.
Okay.
I haven't heard from Netflix. I don't know if we're doing any more Dark Crystal. I hope we are. I had a fabulous time. Really, you know, people always go, oh, filmmaking, television making, it's a team effort. But boy, is that a team effort, because the performance is really done already by the puppeteer. They've shot the thing, they've done a voice, and you've got to match the flaps of these extraordinary puppets. So more than ever, I felt like a very small cog in a rather beautiful and brilliant machine. And it's just to be around those craftsmen building those sets and doing that work. They're the finest puppeteers in the world, and let's face it, it's not an expanding craft. Well, first of all, if you're ever in a story that can be condensed down to a message, we should, you know, have issued a fridge magnet instead of 10 hours of great drama. But it's clearly about preserving our resources, you know, about the selfishness of us consuming everything and not thinking about tomorrow. It's just done through the prism of brilliant fantasy storytelling.
I do. I mean, it carries on the fine Star Trek tradition of a hopefulness, but it's a much bigger scale. It's very, very epic. The storytelling, the character stories that we're telling, the sets, the costumes, all of it. It's just incredibly epic in scope and very cinematic.
I believe there is always hope to be found, and although things seem very dark and very grim, certainly so far as Europe is concerned, we have to believe in a better future. We must.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more content next time.
We all have a story, just waiting to be claimed. Thank you for not trying to talk me out of all this. Believe me, I know better.
here on the largest of the Balearic Islands, Mallorca. With the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful mountainous landscape, the thriving city of Palma, quaint little market towns, a growing number of luxury hotels, it's no surprise that the likes of Audrey Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor like to holiday here. So come and join me as I take you round Mallorca.
Thank you for watching the fan carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.